Hey guys, this is Hell Hades, another Raid Shadow Legends video. Can we get an F in the chat for the last day that we're going to get the Sacred and the 5-star chickens? We will miss you. Cleopteryx, I'll see you soon. Guys, this is going to be a video about the Hell Hades Optimiser. So loads of people have asked me to do this, and basically they've been asking for a bit of an updated guide on how to use it, what does it do, how can I use it effectively, because it is an absolute game changer for anyone playing Raid Shadow Legends that's been playing for more than like 60 days. Before 60 days, it's probably not going to give you that much because you probably don't have enough gear to actually move around. After 60 days, wow, look at all these. After 60 days, it's going to give you a ton of support with how you build your champions. I'm just going to throw this out there nice and early. The Gear Optimizer existed before the lead developer started working with hellhades.com. He is now part of the team. He now gets paid to develop this tool along with the other people in the team. And yes, it was available as a free option way back when on GitHub. Less than 100 people were using it regularly. Now over 60,000 people are using it regularly. And, you know, we've bought it on. So far, it's ridiculous. So all the naysayers that are like, this wasn't your tool. I didn't build the tool, but we brought it to the forefront. And we've actually paid the development team for all of the work that they do. And that comes through either premium memberships on the website or some of the advertising that goes on the website. So let's get that out there nice and early. Unfortunately, the Optimizer cannot be used on a mobile device or a Mac unless you're using a Mac that's got a virtual machine and you install like a Windows on the Mac. It's a Windows tool. We can't do anything about that. That's not going to change. So I throw that one out there as well. Two bad things out the way, but let's get on to the cool stuff, the Optimizer. So first thing you do, go onto hellhades.com. You do need to be a member. You can be a totally free member to use the Optimizer. If you're a paid member, you get a few more perks on the Optimizer. All the membership stuff is available here. Go into the Optimizer, click Raid Optimizer. And then if it's the first time you're using it, you download the installer. And bam, you're going to run that exe. We have had a whitelist from all of the major antivirus stuff. So, you know, you've got no worries there. Just literally click update if you've already got it, or click install if you haven't. And then you log in. You log in using your hellhades.com login details. Nothing to do with Raid, nothing to do with Plarium Play, that type of stuff. It's your Hell Hades login info. And then you click upload to website in this little tool. And here we go. So it's now what it's done. You have to have Raid running. You have to have Plarium Play running, not BlueStacks. Not any other emulators. It has to be Raid, Plarium Play. And you get this window come up, which will give you the changelog and stuff. But it will also now have like a screenshot, like a moment in time of all of your account info. It's now logged. This is my account. Yeah. And there's a few things you can do on this champions page. So you can filter out champions that are just leveled. So you could say, actually, I only want to see champions that are at least level 50. And it'll filter out all of the food champs. Yeah, you could filter by a faction, by affinity, by their role, by their rarity. You could, let's take this out of here. You could go in and filter by champions that you've locked. So let's say you don't want to take any gear off of people that are already built out, like a Trunda, like a Draco. I could press the little padlock, and then I could just filter by champions that are locked. So these are the ones currently on my account that I don't want any gear moving from. Yeah? So I can make sure that those don't get touched. Equally, at this point, I could say, you know what? I just want to unlock a bunch of these for the next re-gear that I do. Yeah? The other thing you can do on here, which is quite cool, you can say, which of my champions are partially geared? So you could be like, okay, so I need to go and fix. This is extremely useful for me because I move gear around all the time. But I could be like, oh, okay, my Mashold is missing something, or my Gerptut's missing something. So I could click in there and just have a look and be like, all right, he's missing his accessories real quick. Yeah. I could go back in and be like, Mashold, what are you missing? Okay, he's missing a chest and boots. I need to fix that because he's in my faction war team. That's quite a nice little thing you can do on the main page. And then you can show who's got full masteries, who needs work on their masteries. And another one which is quite nice, or not nice, depending on what happens with the dupe system, is you can click on show dupes. You can go down and just see which champions you've got multiple copies of. For me, I think the most legendaries I've got of anyone is a Whirlim. So let's see what the dupe system does for my Whirlim. It could end up being that I've got the most powerful Whirlim in the game before too long. So there you go. That's the main page. You can also just go into the artifact page and you'll see here some words popping up: legendary, godlike, strong. This is an artifact rating system which I developed with one of my mods. So me and Saf pulled this together. This is the Hell Hades gear rating system, okay? It's not official in any way. It's just stuff that I've pulled together, which felt right to me. So what it's doing is it's looking at what star rating have you got, what rolls did you get on gear, and therefore, is it a strong piece or not? Okay, so a 5-star will rate worse than a 6-star. If you're looking at something like speed gear, if you've got speed rolls, like at least 2 speed rolls, then it's going to be a godlike piece anyway. But if you don't have much speed rolling and it's a 5-star gear, then it'll probably come in as like an average to weak. In terms of the rating, it goes from absolute terrible piece being in the bin all the way up to godlike, and you can see the rating system at the bottom of the page. So, you know, this is a premium add-on. This is if you're an uncommon or higher member on the website. But some people do ask me questions on this, so it is in there and it is useful. If you don't have this turned on, you can still use this artifact page just really to filter like you could filter in the game, but in a better way. So you could say, okay, I want to show my strongest speed gear. You get rid of the boots, and then you'll start to get to your actual items with speed rolls. And the top, when I get past boots, will be my fastest speed rolls that I've got in the game. So I've got a 4 roll on this immortal set, 27 speed. I've got a 27 speed here. This just counts the speed before any glyphage. Okay, so you can see here my fastest actual piece of speed gear is this shield. One thing to mention, if you've got 2 words, if you're using the premium thing, then basically what it's saying is right now the item is weak. Top word is weak. That's the top word is what the item's rated right now. The bottom word is what it could be if it got the best possible rolls. And what you can do is you can click show max potential. It's just hiding behind me a little bit. See here, show max potential. And what it will do is it will level it up to level 16 and show you what the missing rolls would have been to get to that max potential of whatever the word is. So the show max potential is quite a new feature we put in because some people are saying, I don't understand how this could ever be a godlike piece. It's all in my opinion, so it's not, you know, it's just my view on what good rolls are. But generally, the highest potential rolls will be rolling things like crit rate, speed, crit damage, accuracy. You'll even get a high score if you get loads of rolls of resistance because getting high resistance rolls like 3 or 4 is still a really strong piece for certain accounts. So that's the artifacts. Let's get into the main kind of reason to use the optimizer, I guess, and that is optimizing champions for whatever build you're trying to do. So if we were trying, let's say my Elder Sky, I think it's not built right now. What we want to do is we want to optimize his pieces. So we're going to optimize artifacts. And you get a whole load of different things. It will save your last set that you did, so you can hit reset, and it will just kind of bring you back to this select your optimizer page. There's 3 different options. Brute Force is like the original optimizer that was built, and it's for simple builds really. If you're just looking for like 2 stats, so let's say you want a high speed and a high accuracy build, you can use the Brute Force and just throw the bars up on those, and it'll give you a good build. The improved Brute Force kind of does it in a stronger way. It particularly does well if you're looking for sets. So if you're looking for a lifesteal set with another piece of gear, you can use the improved Brute Force. But the best one, which works the most efficiently, is the GPU accelerated optimizer. And that's using your graphics card to boost the power of the optimizer. It's easily the best one for speed and for variety of builds. But if you don't have a very good laptop or PC, then you might want to go back to using the Brute Force. In effect, they worked in the same sort of way, though. So I've picked my optimizer. I could use presets. So this is a presets page. You can't use presets though with the GPU accelerated. So if I wanted to use a preset, I'd go into the brute force one. There's a number here which I'd preset already. If you're a premium user, again, this is one of the upgrades. You could go into the shared presets, and a number of different people have put their own builds in here that you can go ahead and search through. So this is a premium option, that the normal Hell Hades ones are already there for anyone to use. Let's go back into the GPU accelerated. So the main thing you want to do is kind of decide what type of build you want. And what the optimizer will do is it will look for the best gear pieces to fit that. If the best gear pieces are a number of sets, it will pull a number of sets. If the best gear pieces are random gear, it will pull random gear. Okay? Lots of people say, can I tell it I definitely want this set with this set? If that's not the best build, the optimizer won't do it. Therefore, you shouldn't do it. Okay? It's just not the right thing to do. So we're not going to put that in because it makes no sense. If you particularly want a set, let's say you want lifesteal, you can go into sets and you can just type lifesteal and pull the one you want. And then it will pick a 4-piece set of lifesteal with 2 other pieces. Okay? Didn't used to be able to do that. Now it can. It can pick a 4-piece set out. You can also literally just highlight at the bottom here any of the sets you want to use. Let's say you just wanted to use speed or divine speed. You can do it here. It doesn't make sense to do that. But if you're looking for fast, because you just select all and it will find you your fastest build. So it doesn't make sense to do that. But let's say in this build particularly, I want to go for Guardian gear. I could do Guardian, and I could say the remaining 2 pieces, anything you like. I could then go into stats and say, right, for my Elder Scarred, I want him to be at least 200 speed, and I want to go up to 250. I want him to have 100% crit rate. I want at least 230 accuracy. And all you're doing is you're just kind of filling in the stats that you need. Yeah, this is on the highest score optimizer. This is only available in the GPU accelerated one, okay? And then at this point you say, okay, these are the stats that I want, and then everything else I want you to throw into attack. And I'll do that, and maybe the number here, the +2, it's just saying this is the order in which I want you to prioritize the rest of the stats. So it's importance, there's a +4 on attack, and I'm going to say a +3 on critical damage, and maybe a +1 on health. And all it'll do is it'll say in that order, I'm going to look through your gear and find you the replacement bits that do that. It then tells you once you hit start, the different things you're optimizing for. I guess I should say actually, because a lot of people miss this, the default when you come on is that it will include equipped artifacts apart from on people that you've locked. Yeah. And it will assume that you're going to roll everything up to max. Okay. So if you're not going to spend any silver, you could untick this one and it will assume that the gear you've got now is the gear you're going to finish with. You can also tell it to look for a minimum artifact level. So on my one, it defaults to level 8. So what that's then saying is it has to be rolled to level 8 before it even considers that piece in the build. Okay? You might decide actually 12's for you because you don't want to spend too much silver. Or you might decide that you're happy to come right down to a level 1 because you want it to consider any boot that you've got. Or level 0, I guess. But yeah, level 8's a good one because then it's kind of like, okay, we've got some idea of rolls that are happening already, and it will find the majority of your better pieces. If for a particular build you want to also include all locked artifacts, you can do it here. So even on people that you've locked out, but we'll keep that off for now. And then we optimize. So hit start. What it will do is it will be using your graphics card right now if you've got that ticked. And it will start to filter through the different builds. It will hit the speed I wanted, the crit rate I wanted, the accuracy I wanted, the health, etc. And you see how it's prioritized the attack, then the crit damage, then the health in terms of the rolls that are coming through. So this is quite a simple one. It's going to pick out quite an easy one. And honestly, if you've got the build you see that you like, you can stop it whenever, or you can let it run to 100%. But I could stop here and be like, fine, Guardian set with a good build, with the stats I needed. Brilliant. Now, at this stage, you might be like, oh no, Ethos is in the mix and I meant to lock him. I forgot. I could literally click on his face, padlock him here, come back out, clear it, start again, and it will do the same rotation now, but Ethos won't be in the mix. So you'll be optimizing without Ethos being part of the gang. Now, you might decide that stuff this build actually, I want more damage. And what you can do is you can pull these sliders back, and instead of saying highest score in the optimizer goal, you can actually say, I want highest damage. And at this point, you can use the default, which is 2000 enemy defense, or you can put in what you think the defense of the enemy is going to be, and it does make a difference to the build. If you think about a gear set like Savage or Cruel, they ignore percentage of defense. So the higher the defense enemy that you're facing, the more important sets like Savage and Cruel become. So on this build, I could say the same thing in terms of my setup, but I actually want to optimize for damage with Elder Skarg. So I don't need to put any bars on here because it knows all I want is to hit hard. And I could also say that, let's just give you a bit of a feel about what defense means. So for the average Ultra Nightmare Clan boss is like 1600 defense. For the average arena nuker, you're probably up against something like a couple of thousand defense. For the average arena tank, you might be up against 3,500 defense. Now, if you know you're going to apply decreased defense, then you probably get yourself back down to around 1,800, 2,000 anyway. So that's why 2,000 is in there as a default. We're kind of assuming that most people that run these builds are probably going to apply a decreased defense, but you can change it if you want. So you can go in there and say, you know what? I've seen that the Doom Tower Wave has got 10,000 defense, and I'm not going to decrease his defense. So you can change that, and it will absolutely find Savage Gear if it can, if that was the case. So let's keep it on 2,000. So highest damage build. If I want to, because I know that I'm going to turn off different skills, I could even tell it, optimize for a certain skill. So I could say, optimize for the Elder Skarg's A1, if I wanted to. If not, you just do highest overall, and it'll just find like the best overall build for damage for that champion. This works as well if they're a defense-based champion, a HP-based champion. It will know what the stat is it needs to look for to maximize your damage. There's one other premium upgrade, which you see at this point. So you can actually come in and see what the skills currently hit for. So you see skills, max damage, 6,300, 25,200. That's what they hit for in his current gear, which is no gear. And then you'll see when we get to the build part. So I can start optimizing now for damage, clear this and start again. And it will pull through builds, which will be the higher hitters, hopefully. Here we go. And what I can see is if I hover over the build, when I'm a premium user, this is uncommon or higher user, it will tell me how much extra damage I'm going to get per hit. So Hunt the Marked goes from 25,000 up, it gains another 74,000 damage with this build versus the one at the bottom here, it gains 73. So you can kind of get a feel for how much damage am I gaining versus the other stats that are available. And you might not always pick the highest damage build because you might want a bit more health or you might want a bit more defense in your build. But I'm almost certain. Oh, I've still got, this is still Guardian. Sorry, this is Guardian set still activated. If I change the sets to any and re-optimize, forgot about that, then we'll see now we've got builds that are coming in plus 109,000 on that A2, going up as we speak, 113, yeah, based on it finding the best gear. And in this set, we've actually got double Cruel as the available gear. So as the best potential gear available. If I went and unlocked, include locked artifacts from everybody, so this is all of my best gear now, from all of my nukers and everyone that's in the game. So I'd imagine we'll see some Trunder gear popping up, or maybe some Ethos gear. And here with this change, you see we start to get Savage gear coming through because it knows that we're looking to ignore as much defense as possible. So the Savage gear starts to pop out, and that will complete soon. A couple other things to look at, just for info really. You can kind of see a stats before and after available here. You can see the skills that I just spoken about. You can also see the rating. This is the rating taken directly from the website, hellhades.com. So if you want to see how that particular champion rates in terms of my rating in different areas of the game, then it's all in here as well. So let's do a second rating here. Let's reset the filters, reset all. And what we're going to optimize for now is like a clan boss build, because this is probably what a lot of people use this the most for. And you have really tight kind of speed requirements. At the moment, it doesn't take into account whether an item's glyphed or not. It just sees speed as a whole level of speed. So if you know that a bunch of your items need glyphs and you've got glyphs, you could manually reduce the speed you require. Eventually, we will be able to manipulate speed, but that's going to be some way down the line around glyphs. So let's say we need a 250 speed to 254 speed. Geomancer, this is going to be for a clan boss build, whatever. I want 100% crit rate. I need him to land his debuffs. And then other than that, because it's going to be an unkillable build, I just want to optimize for damage. Yeah, what it will do is it will look for these speeds, it will look for the accuracy, it will look for the crit rate, and then it will start to find the gaps. Let's say, I don't know, you're trying to do a slow boy build, and it needs to be between 121 and 124, and his defense needs to be really low. Let's say like 1600, sorry, maximum 1600. Throw that in here like this, and the health needs to be minimum of like 40,000. And hit start. And this is a more difficult build. So we're now looking for like way more specific builds. The GPU accelerated finds this more difficult to do. Yeah, I tend to. If I'm looking for someone particularly, and I'm trying to show you like the faults with the systems as well, yeah? If I'm trying to look for someone specifically with these type of stats, like a minimum health, maximum defense, the GPU accelerated finds it difficult to do. I would switch to improve brute force to do the same thing. So if I'm looking for a slow boy in particular, the brute force optimizer is just better at doing it. I don't know why, don't know what the difference is, but it definitely is better. But you do need to throw in a bit more guidance. So we do this, still say this, minimum 100%. So you see I put the same stats in, look for crit damage, and what the improved brute force one will do is it will say, this is as close as I can get, this is as close as I can get, until it finds a build, and then it'll ping out the builds. You see how much quicker that was at finding like a slow boy build? And unfortunately, a lot of this is just through me playtesting the different ways that I use the optimizer. I use it almost every single stream that I do. So that's pretty much what it is. It's me playtesting the different things and understanding what the preferences are to use different builds. But certainly like a slow boy build like this tends to be better, or if you've got specific stun targeting you need to do, tends to be better in the improved brute force. Whereas if I was looking for a damage build for clan boss unkillable, let's say I was trying to build Geomancer out to be a damage hitter for a specific speed, then it does tend to work better here, going highest damage, 100% there. Everything else is the same, but that's the speeds I need. And the GPU accelerated tends to be the better system at getting out your best damage build at the right speed with the right accuracy. And look at this crazy 271 crit damage, 4.3k attack build Geomancer's going to get out of this. And you just look at it. The other thing that's worth saying is we do not, if you hit equip here, it doesn't equip anything in the game. It equips it live on your tool. You then have to go back into the game and equip the items separately. Okay, so I click equip here before I go ahead and do the next build. But the pieces that I've just hit equip on, the tool now thinks they're on him, but the game doesn't yet because you have to manually do it in the game. Okay, we don't interact with the game other than taking that screenshot initially. Okay, really important to know. So the tool now thinks Geomancer's got this. I can lock Geomancer from here, and then I can just go in and select the next person I want to build. If you've done a bunch of that kind of lock-in and it was wrong, you can actually come back into this tool, the Raid Optimizer tool, re-hit upload to website. It'll take a fresh screenshot of whatever's going on with your account right now. So if I was to find Geomancer right now, it doesn't have the gear on him that I just locked because in the actual game, he's not wearing that gear. I've not moved anything. I think that is about it. We do have, in terms of what's next, a team builder is in development right now. The initial team builder will be, the aim is to allow you to select 5 champions at the same time and build a team from those 5 with different sets. So with different presets. So you build all 5 champions at the same time. The future from then is what gets pretty sexy again. So we're looking to providing people tick a box to say, yes, do this on my account. We're looking for people to be able to submit data from their runs. So let's say you've run Dragon 20 with a particular team. Firstly, it will tell us and tell you the win rate of your team, the best time, the average time, the worst time of that team. But then it'll also be able to share that information with other users that use the Optimiser. So if other users have got the same champions, and it says, find me my quickest Dragon team, it will go through other teams that are currently running and say, actually, these champions geared this way have been able to have an average runtime of 1 minute 20. That's the future of the Optimiser, but that's a little way away yet. But the building a team is the first step to that, and that's coming soon. So lots of stuff still going on. The development team are still working hard. They do get paid along with everyone else in the hellhades.com team, and anyone that subscribes to Uncommon or Higher user is helping that team to grow. We've now got 5 full-time employees that are paid on the back of hellhades.com, which is nuts. And yeah, and it's doing really well. So look, hope that was useful, guys. If anyone's got other tips that I've not covered, I hope I covered most stuff there, but if anyone's got other tips that I've not covered, please message it below, and enjoy using the Optimiser, guys. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.